Welcome, guests, to season 2 of LightSpeaks. My name is Roshni Sharma Fleming. Thank you for being here. I'm the CEO and founder of Still Fire Healing Inc. here in Toronto, Ontario. And this season 2 is supposed to be absolutely amazing because I have amazing guests, as I do today. I'd like to introduce to you Matteo Bavaro. How are you, Matteo?
Oh, I'm doing great, Roshni. Thank you very much for having me on your podcast. It's
Yes,
good
it's
to
going to
be
be good.
on.
So tell us a little bit about what you do, and we'll take it from there. So what are you all about? What's your vibe?
All right. Well, my name, like you said, is Matteo Bavaro, and I'm a life coach, an author, and the founder of Divorce Dads Help, which is a community and coaching program dedicated to helping fathers reconnect with their kids and build more confidence and create a fulfilling life after divorce. And before stepping into this coaching world, I spent nearly 30 years as a private investigator running my own agency, where I developed a deep understanding for people, communication, and navigating challenging situations. So my personal journey is, it included 2 divorces, rebuilding my relationship with my daughter, with my own daughter, and navigating the tough realities of co-parenting, really. And it really inspired me to turn my pain into my purpose. And I now help men break free from those limiting beliefs and become the best fathers they could be, to thrive for the next chapter of their life and just have a better, more effective communication with their ex-spouse. And I'm really passionate about personal development, fitness, and helping others realize, no matter what happens, how difficult life gets, you always have the power to create something beautiful from it.
Wow, can you repeat that one more time?
Yes, of course. So no matter kind of what's going on in your life and what happens and how difficult things may get, you're always able and you have the power to create something beautiful out of that situation.
Absolutely. And as you have done, as we get into a little bit more of your story, and what were the difficulties, would you say, that you faced in your communication style in your previous marriage?
I think the biggest difficulties is when I'm not really listening to what my ex-spouse was trying to accomplish. I was in my own head on what I was trying to accomplish. So it's a matter of me actually listening and seeing how we can work together. But when you're going through these difficult times, it's tough to put aside your ego, and I think the ego is a big part of it because you just want to be right. And I
Yes.
don't know if it's a matter of being right or you want it your way or however you'd like to call it, but I think that's the biggest challenge, trying to effectively communicate.
I appreciate that very much and being so humble about it because just the ego, it always gets a bad rap, and it is there to help you to survive,
Sure.
and it is there to help to protect you. And so sometimes the awareness, which builds around a relationship as a result of the ego, can be challenging. And how did you build that awareness? Because you seem to be someone who is on a path, on a journey, and starting to meet a few more of our male counterparts, which is why I have you on today, especially because men have been traditionally, by society, programmed with male ego, the programming, the structures. This is what it's all about. This is what we're going to force. This is what we're going to go and get. Go, 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 go. But it provides a challenge for women as well because there is a balance of male and female and energies around us. You seem to be more in touch with a little bit more of your female energy. Um, why do you say that is?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, it took a lot of time to get here, I'll tell you that. And growing up in a traditional Italian kind of old school family
Yes.
structure where, my dad never really had those conversations with me, or even my mom for that matter. Or my dad never hugged me or told me he loved me and all that. So I had to kind of keep my feelings all bottled up and didn't know how to really express my feelings. And that's what kind of led me to, I was about 15 years old when I picked up my first self-help book. And
Wow.
it was called Big You, Little You. I can't remember who the author was,
Yes.
but it really changed my perspective. And what the reference of big you, little you is really your conscious mind and your subconscious mind being the little you, which is, all the, everything that you've learned in your formative years, 0 to 7, and your model of the world is that little you, right?
Yes.
And big you is your consciousness, is what you're experiencing and those feelings. So that really, I think that really helped me on the path to personal growth and kind of really getting in touch with my own feelings.
Wow, that's phenomenal. And I'm so happy that you still remember the name of the book, because sometimes those are those pivotal moments when you say, yep, that's how I turned the page for myself. And you are a very authentic example of someone who is just finding their way despite whatever programming is going on, that you have found a way to help yourself. And if we lean back a little bit into the traditional upbringing, I think also uh, people have been struggling with this and continue to struggle with this dynamic of the ego. How would you, as as a father and a business person, and just being a great male counterpart, how would you advise men to start taking action against the programming and facing the programming that they have experienced?
Great, another great question. I would recommend, um, for me, I'll say what I do, and I just question my language, my own language to myself. And when I say like, this is um, this is impossible, so I ask myself, well, wait a minute, is it impossible? Has it been done before? I just reframe everything that I say to myself. I reframe, and that's what I would tell people, that just listen to your language. Just be very conscious of what you're saying to yourself. And because that changes everything. For me now, for example, if, most people say, oh, I have to get up at this time, or I have to work out, or I have to do this or do that. I reframe that all the time. And I just say to myself, I catch myself and I say, wait a minute, I get to work out. I get to wake up and do this, because a lot of people don't. There's people that can't work out. They may not be able to work out for whatever reason, for health reasons, or what have you. They don't have access to a gym, or any kind of equipment or such. So it's a matter of just reframing my thinking, and I would recommend that to anyone to do.
Isn't that scary for a guy?
Very scary.
Right? Because you've learned to speak in a certain way, you've learned to speak to yourself in a certain way, and then you have to go out in the world and maintain this illusion of toughness, of perhaps, and this is not you, but perhaps an avoidant type of personality where you are not addressing truly what's happening in the heart. Um, in your opinion, your authentic expression as a man and as a male counterpart, how does that help to rebalance relationships?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a great question.
I told you I ask great
No, it's not a
questions.
great question.
I've always been curious, so especially with questions, that's
Yeah.
been like my since the age of like one.
Wow, that's really good. That's really good. So how has it helped? How has the reframing helped in relationships?
Yes, because once you start authentically, when you start facing yourself, right?
Right.
And you're like, this is not working for me. The languaging is not working. She's not getting what I'm saying. I'm not getting what she's saying. So you're not threading the needle, right? But then once you start cracking open what's all hiding in here, there's this energy of communication, of intention. So how has that helped you?
Oh, it's helped tremendously. And I mean, I get to that place from doing a few things, and one of them is meditation. So I love meditation, and it's a guided meditation where I sit there and do a little breathing exercise and have gratitude and just look at my life that way. And also when I'm trying to deal with other people, especially my spouse, my current spouse, or my ex-spouse, there's a tool that we use in NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming, and it's something that I am certified in, and I really enjoy using some of those tools. And there's a tool called perceptual positions.
Yes.
What that is when I'm going through a difficult situation with someone, I basically put them in one chair and I put myself in another chair. I relax, I close my eyes, and I just sit there and listen to the other person. And actually, I listen to myself as the other person and trying to understand what I'm saying and kind of me understanding how that other person is feeling based on what I am saying. And then I do
Mm.
the opposite. And then I'll be a fly on the wall as if I'm not any part of the conversation, but I'm just listening to both people and trying to get a middle ground. And I think it's really grounding when you do that because you really see different aspects of that conversation and where you could, where maybe you're not listening to the other person. And it's just, it's something that's really worked well for me in the past. And I don't know if you're familiar with that at all.
I've not, and it's called percept. What is the element? What is the tool called again?
Of perceptual positions. So it's just
Perceptual
putting yourself
position.
in different positions. So you're putting yourself in the other person's shoes and what they're listening to, not
Wow.
just what you're saying. Because usually when you're saying it, you're not listening to yourself. You're just getting it all out.
So this positioning is probably a very key component to finding middle ground and bridging solutions to uh, challenging times in relationships, challenging even the communication style. Do you find that when you are engaging in perceptual positioning, the other person is whoever that might be, but in this context, let's talk about a partner. Do they soften their communication style? Are they more empathetic, more compassionate and loving? Or do you find that it's triggering to them?
No, well, I'm not doing it with them, right? So
Mm.
I'm doing it on my own, picturing
Your
them.
own. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh,
So I'm picturing
picturing them. Oh, yes. Oh,
the
gosh.
whole thing of myself. All I'm doing is if it's something that I'm being triggered, I'll say, okay, why am I being triggered? Let me put this in perspective. I'll put her in one chair, me in another chair, and let me watch this conversation between us and see where I can improve. See where I can
Wow.
my point of and see maybe how she's feeling of maybe I'm overreacting or I'm being too strong. I'm coming across too strong or very aggressive or what have you. So where can I be more empathetic?
Yes. That's phenomenal. And what a beautiful way to set intention
Mm.
for when the conversation actually happens, and that you have visualized and envisioned an outcome that is favorable for both of you, which immediately brings you down to more an authentic expression between both of you, and that you're creating this co-creating synergy together so that you can find a bridge between whatever is going on. And I think one beautiful thing that you said was that it's the envisioning of your conversation not only helps to set the stage, but then it also is allowing you for self-improvement. You're almost healing yourself. You're almost, well, you're not almost, you're healing yourself. It's self-improvement in action. And how easy is that? You
Yes.
know, some people find healing and self-improvement very daunting because of all the books that are available, because of everything that's out there, like try this, do this, do this. But I think what you are also saying and helping us to remember is that you are remembering to be human,
Exactly. Precisely. And
right? Because I think sometimes we get bombarded, and even in holistic circles, we get bombarded. Try this, sound healing, this. But we also have to give ourselves grace and remember that we're all rowing the boat in our own little way. We have our oar, but we also have to remember that we're a human doing it.
exactly.
I
Exactly.
love that. So, how do you describe, after, let's put this into context, how, when you do your perceptual positioning, how do you describe your communication style after you do it?
Oh, well, yeah, no, that's very good. And I mean, I would normally describe my communication style as direct. However,
Direct.
I think after doing an exercise like that, I am definitely more compassionate and more adaptable. And I think adaptable is the
Ooh, I love
now
that.
I'm like I'm looking at both sides and I'm like, wait a minute. So um yeah, that I think that's what I get out of it the most is just being more adaptable to what we're trying to accomplish together instead of what I'm trying to accomplish.
Yes, and I agree because then there's less chance of the egos clashing and more of the hearts connecting, right? And let's go back a little bit more into the way in which society has built its structures around the ego, and especially the male ego. Not it's because of the man, that's the man's fault. No, the societies have been built around male ego traditionally, historically as well, and ancestrally, because women, in a sense, have gone through many deaths and rebirths to find out who we are. And we are going through a mass amount of awakening, shall we say, energetically and spiritually, where women are saying, okay, yes, there is an ego, but there's a softer way to get things done. There's a way to heal. There's a way to work through structures so that it's not so, it's more structured and it's more flowing and it's more compassionate. So when you go back to that and you see society built on the male ego, what are the challenges that you have seen in your experiences with men working through this society in this male oriented type of energy? What do you see personally?
What I see personally is men over the years have really softened up their ego.
Mm,
And it's great because they're doing more personal development and self-development. And I find that values normally usually get in the way, and people once they can understand what they value, their ego soften up automatically. So I'll give you an example. Like I usually do when I do coaching, I do a value elicitation in
okay.
different areas of your life. So, for example, in relationships, if if a man values, let's say, freedom, if that's his highest value, that's probably not good because if you're valuing freedom and you want to be in a relationship, there's a disconnect there, right? So then the ego will get in the
Absolutely.
way and will be fighting with the natural progression of a relationship.
Wow.
If and then there might be some that their highest value is love, which is great, but are they living with love? So are they
Mm,
showing up in their relationship in a loving way? Or are they coming home upset and angry and nitpicking at everything? So it's about kind of understanding where your values are, where they lie in different areas of your life, and then finding out what they are first, and then living those values in order to, because when you get there, you'll know that, whoa, this is my dream relationship, and I'm living it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, that
I
makes
love that. It makes sense. And I think what's really important, and I like that you have included the tools in the way and you help your clients in value elicitation, and that somebody, yes, with a high sense of value on freedom is going to have to make adjustments in order to say, okay, well, I love this one, but I like to go and do all these things. So what would a partner of this high freedom male counterpart do in that situation?
Oh, well, if freedom was his highest value, he wouldn't be happy in a relationship unless he felt that he was free to, I don't know, hang out with his friends, or free to, um, cook whatever he wants without, communicating. So
Mm,
it's gonna really affect communication,
yes,
when your highest value is freedom, right? So there'd be a real disconnect in any relationship, because you have to be in
absolutely.
relationships. I think the most important thing in a relationship is communication,
I
and
agree.
giving. Like you need to be in a relationship to give, because it's funny. People say, "Oh, when they're single, I want to be in a relationship," and I'm like, "Well, why do you want to be in a relationship?" Well, because I just want to be with someone. And I say, well, you want to be in a relationship because you believe fundamentally that it's going to make you happy. And that's why you want to be in a relationship, right? So it's not because you want to be in a relationship, but the outcome is you want to be happy. So, and it's just like when people, buy whatever they buy, and they think they want to be happy. A new car will make them happy, and they go out and buy a new car. Yeah, it's temporary happiness, and then it fades away because they keep chasing happiness. But happiness it's always within you, right?
It's
So
always
that's the
within.
only place you can find happiness is within you.
Yes, I agree. How does, I would say very, very strongly that communication is a function of the way you listen to your heart. And if your heart is shut down, whether you're male or female, if your heart is guarded, you're going to have trouble communicating because you're always trying to protect yourself, right? Which is a very normal human thing. What is not normal is creating a reality from the ego, right? That's not normal. It's normal to a certain point, and then in Ahava theory, we say it, and that was developed by Janice Taylor, that ego starts to wane a little bit, and then your real self starts waking up, right? And then you say, oh, this is not what I want. Is there an age, do you think, that males start to see that their ego hasn't served them well, in your opinion?
Yes, I
There
think.
is.
Yeah, for me, it was probably a little younger, but I would say 25 to 30, in that range, is
Mm,
and really start realizing, whoa, wait a minute. I'm not invincible, and you know, things are changing, and I have responsibilities now that I didn't have before. I relied on other people, and you know, things start coming up. Like that fear really kicks in the older you get, and in that 25 to 30 range. And of course, fear, as you know, for me, my definition is it's our mind projecting like the worst case scenarios on things, right?
yes.
If you lead with curiosity instead of being fearful, then you can transform the unknown into something full of possibility. So that's kind of how I shifted.
Wow.
It's just with that leading with curiosity instead of, what about if it does go well? Instead of saying, you know, well, what about if I blow this interview, or what about if I, you know, I go up to this person to introduce myself and they blow me off or whatever the case is, right? But wait a minute, what if that's the person I marry? Or if that's becomes my best friend? Like, what if that happens? So leading with curiosity, I think really combats fear.
I agree, because once you are starting to embrace whatever's around you in the dark, you have no other choice but to switch on the light. Spiritually, emotionally, mentally, metaphysically, everything has to be switched on. And like you said, it all starts within, right? And it, is it scary being a guy these days in society today?
It is. It is
It is.
very scary, yes.
Tell me why.
I think it's become more scary in the last probably 15 to 20 years.
Okay,
Like I have a 13-year-old son and it's so much different now than it used to be. And not that I don't know if it's better or worse. I don't know. I'd like to think when I was growing up, I was very respectful with other people and especially with women and other people. But now I think there's so much out there. There's so much out there in social media with all the social media that's out there. And I think kids, as they're growing up, may have a different kind of perception of how they should treat someone or speak to someone. And there's a lot of mixed messaging out there. And
yes.
I think interrupts kind of the teachings that come from the school or from your parents that kids it's tough for them to navigate as they're growing up. I mean, they know fundamentally what's right and wrong, but
Sure.
they push those boundaries to get maybe a reaction because they're seeing all these different, weird TikTok videos or all these kind of things. So I think it's tough. It's tough for men and women, of course. So it's not just for men.
Yes. Is there, thank you for sharing that. And I think definitely the idea of social media distorting what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman is an ongoing pressure, right? Women are taught that if we don't we can do it all nicely and do this all greatly, and you'll be fine. You can do this. But in reality, it is a cosmic dance of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this. And if you're a mother or sister, you are still playing multiple roles as a woman in society. What roles do men play in today's world?
That's a great and interesting question because I
Yes.
think men play various roles,
Yes.
especially when it comes to all the different masks we wear as men. So we have the father mask, where
Sure.
you're authoritarian to your son or daughter, and then you have the husband mask, where you have
Yeah.
to navigate that relationship, and you have the employee or employer mask, right? So you're wearing all these different masks throughout the day. And it would, I just, through my own personal growth, that's what I've been trying to strip away. So I just get to the
Ooh.
authentic me and this is who I am, as a father, as a husband, as an employee or employer, this is the person I am. And I just try to be that way. But I see that men have a difficult time wearing these different masks.
Do you think that the standards of men have been increased and they're almost unattainable in today's society as well? And I love that you were just, physically taking off, like, this is so tight, like,
That's good.
it's good. Like, take it off. Like, just show me what you are. And women can do the same thing. We do it, right? And wherever you are on your journey, there's no rush, but you eventually you'll be like, this is not serving me.
Right.
But for men, are your standards still very high to maintain those masks, or do you feel that the male collective is ready?
I absolutely see that the men collective are ready, and
Ooh,
I'm seeing that, and I'm so happy. I'm so proud about that because I'm seeing the conversations are changing now. Like even the
they are.
conversations I'm having with our friends, it's like it's crazy because I'll go away on go away with friends or with colleagues to different go different outings or vacations or what have you, and we're sitting there and we're having these conversations that we, once in a while we'll stop and say, can you imagine if our wives knew what we were talking about? Because they
Sure.
probably think here they are just talking about all guy stuff. They're talking about sports, cars, women or whatever they're talking, what men usually would talk about. And we're not. We're talking about recipes, about like food recipes and
Oh,
yeah, we're talking about all kinds of stuff. And, and our routines and what we do and what we do with our spouses and what we love about our spouses and our relationships. That's what we're talking about now. And this is, I've never experienced this until I'd probably say the last 10 or 15 years. Yeah. So I really think it's changing. Men are ready. Men are ready to be more vulnerable and just kind of not expose themselves, but just be more open to what's the word I'm looking for? Just open to love, maybe love that's
oh,
right?
you heard it here straight.
Yeah.
They are open to love. Everybody hear that? That's amazing. What a beautiful thing, because love, there's two emotions. There's love and fear, right? A lot of, and I was even reading about, there are actually 6 different types of fear, which is absolutely insane. I just say it's fear, but there is research that indicates that there are 6 different types of fear, but love is just one. Can you imagine? How is love so difficult? How is love so difficult that we can't just say, okay, now's my time. I'm going to take off whatever's holding me down, whatever's locking me up, just take it off. I think a lot of the work that men are afraid of is the very thing they need in order to unlock
Oh,
their
beautiful. Well
heart,
said. Well said. Yeah.
right? The work that they have to do is going to unlock the beauty of the heart that their partner is looking for. Because that's basically what it is. It's this undercurrent of love and energy of love.
Yeah.
What is it going to take for men to get there from here? And maybe I can it's soften it a little bit. Maybe is there like a bridge that helps men to come from here to here? Does it take a couple of marriages? Does it take perhaps parenting style? Does it take therapy? What are men to do? Because I do a lot of work in women's empowerment and women's health. I know what women can do. What
Mhm.
are men supposed to do? And they have to take off that jacket too to say,
Oh,
"Uh-oh, I'm going to go to therapy, but I'm going to go to therapy." What are you guys supposed to do? What are they supposed to start with?
that's a loaded question, but I
I
would
hope I
say
didn't want it to
that's
be,
a
but
loaded
like,
question.
what do you, in your opinion, like
Yeah.
what should you guys start with?
I think it's for sure it's an individual thing,
Sure.
and you have to be ready. You can't go
Yeah.
to a man that's just frustrated all day and just, he doesn't like his job. He's in an unhappy relationship and all these kind of things. And he's doing all of that to himself, in my opinion, because he has control over those things and how to show up for work, how to show up for his relationship. And
Well said.
until he's ready, I don't think there's not much you can do until someone's ready. However, when somebody's ready, it's amazing because there's so much you could do and little small steps to get you there. And I've been doing it and I see more and more men doing it. So it's becoming more mainstream now. As you can imagine, I mean, years ago, so I deal with a lot of men that are going through divorce. And
Sure.
years ago, men weren't really in their kids' lives as much as they are today. And I think you probably
Correct.
noticed that, yeah?
I noticed that as well.
Yeah. So now it's just they want to be in their kids' lives and they want to be more active and just be more of that father figure. And that's so important for the child and important for the spouse as well, for the mom of the child. It's very important for them. So
Yes,
I really find that if a man is ready today, they have to be ready. There's so many more resources today, and it's a lot more accepted today than it ever was.
for sure. Absolutely. I love that because what's coming up for me is this image of rebalancing, because once you start rebalancing the energy within yourself as a male, that's going to be reflected in any relationship that you have with anyone, not only a spouse, but it could be with a parent, it could be with a boss. Maybe your leadership style will also shift because you've rebalanced the way that you perceive the world, not through fear, but through love,
Right.
right? And when you perceive the world through love, and this is not unicorn thinking, people, this is like a real thing. The world needs a big hug. And where do you start? You start with yourself. And as you said, Matteo, that happiness starts within your health, in within yourself. And then also starting with looking through communication lenses. How do you communicate? Taking off the mask, um, reframing. You have such good, rich, simple tools that you've given us today. Value elicitation. And what are and some of the outcomes you said? They are, you're more compassionate, adaptable. There's this leading with curiosity. Can you expand a little bit more about that?
Well, I'll preface this with kind of how I start my mornings, and it
Okay.
needs me to like prepare myself for this.
Yes.
And I think this is really important, and it doesn't take long. This is maybe it could be half an hour to an hour, maybe less. It's up to you. But and this would be my biggest, I think, wellness advice for men is just own your morning. And
Wow.
what I mean by that is just, I start my day, I get up. There's a recent brain hack that I've learned. And if you're right-handed, go to the mirror, go to the bathroom and brush your teeth with your left hand. So
Oh,
it's a brain hack. So it's using a different part of your brain first thing in the morning, which is it's really good to shift that the brain.
absolutely. Yeah.
And then the next thing I do is I look in the mirror and I actually look at myself, look at my eyes, eye to eye. Because a lot of times we look at the mirror, we're not actually looking at ourselves, right? We're just, we're overlooking ourselves. But look at yourself eye to eye, and I say I love you to myself 20 times.
Wow. Wow.
Then I give myself a high five with my right and with my left, and I'm like looking at my hand as I'm doing it, right? Because you get such a dopamine rush from that because been ingrained in our mind. Like every time you've ever given a high five to anyone, it's because you were like, if you're watching a sporting event, somebody scored or you kick butt on something and you're like, yeah. So every time you do that, there's a link in your brain to give you a release of dopamine, right? So just by doing that in the morning, you're already giving yourself dopamine. And
Wow.
next, I go downstairs and I'm not sure if you heard of Wim Hof. Okay, so they call him the Iceman. He does deep breathing
Oh,
underwater, but I'm not doing it in water here. But I'll do it on the couch, and it's 3 sets of 30 reps, and it's in through your nose, and you do that 30 times, and then you hold your breath for about a minute and a half. And there's YouTube videos on this guy that shows you exactly how to do this. And that is amazing. So what it does is it activates your parasympathetic nervous system. So your
sure.
sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight. And that's kind of how we're always kind of in that fight or flight mode. But when you activate your parasympathetic first thing in the morning, you're automatically in a relaxed state.
Yes.
Just from doing that, a simple breathing exercise. And there's this neuroscientist, or actually a what is he, human biologist, Gary Brecka, that says,
Yes.
um, that says just doing that alone, that breathing exercise alone, I'm not sure how accurate this is, but he knows a lot more than me. you would add 7 years to your life just by doing that every day. This is his claim, right?
Oh,
So, but all I know is me doing that every morning really helps me just calm down, relax, and gets me ready for the day. And then I'll do some meditation, very like 5-10 minutes meditation, some gratitude work, and maybe light exercise. Doesn't have to be heavy. It can be if you want, if you're someone that does weights, sure. But if just a short little walk, just something to get the blood flowing, and then you're primed. You're primed to be like you're at your best. Now it's up to you. From that point on, it's up to you.
wow. What a routine, and how beautifully simple the routine is, and how much you can sustain a routine like that for yourself, and touching base with yourself every morning. And it's so it's organic. You can take it anywhere with you. You can take it across the world if you want. There's no cost involved, or very little. And you are able to touch base with who you are and recognize that you have been given a new day, which is a new blessing, and you get another chance at life. That is phenomenal. And I love that. And do you notice, because you have this journey that's kind of pushing you along? That's how I met you. I was like, oh wow, this is an incredible person. I want to interview you. Woo! And I'm so grateful that you're here. Is do you do you recognize when your ego gets engaged? How does that feel?
Oh, absolutely. It's from all the work that I've done, I'm super engaged with always listening. So I'm always the observer. I sit back and when, I call it my monkey mind or, the roommates, my subconscious mind, all those roommates are because you have, I forget it says 70 million thoughts a day or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you as you delete, you distort, and you generalize. And I'm always cognizant of, okay, I let it happen. I don't block what's going on, but I recognize that I'm not putting any attention to that. So I'm very, very conscious of what's going on in my ego mind, right?
Ooh,
So I'm catching myself all the time. And yeah, so that's kind of how I do it. I'm the gatekeeper to the thoughts. I,
ooh. Yes, the gatekeeper, because you can see once it's in my, and I go through the same thing, and I'm like, what is this? You are not welcome here today. I'm busy with my heart. You are not invited. No RSVP. I said no. And so I like that, because you are again working on self-improvement, self-empowerment, where you are completely in control of your thoughts. And that's the only person who is. There's no one else. And if it's somebody else who you think is doing some mind control, it is not you. It is not you. Um, what, and now you going back to your traditional upbringing, what would your dad, is he still living?
no,
Oh,
he's not.
no, okay, sorry. Um, what would your dad say about the new Matteo Bavaro today?
Oh, good question. I think he'd be really proud. I think he'd be really proud of where I'm at today. I'm not sure if he would quite understand it if he
Yes,
was here, but I think he would nonetheless be proud because he would see that I'm happy and that I'm exuding, happiness and confidence and just life, really.
yes,
It's interesting because, as I mentioned earlier, growing up, he's a tough, old school Italian that wouldn't hurt
yes,
you, he loved you or anything like that. And we didn't really have, I would say, a strong bond or good relationship until I think I was 25.
wow,
When I was in my first marriage, that's when I think he saw me as a man. Now I'm working full time. I have a wife, and that's when our relationship started to develop a lot deeper in my mind. Um, so yeah, I think he'd be really proud. To answer your question, I think he'd be really proud.
I think so too.
Maybe a little lost trying to understand, like this guy's way too too in touch with his feelings.
But and I don't think, uh, and you know this, but for the majority of men, it's okay to be in touch with your feelings. It's okay to feel scared. It's okay to feel not enough. It's okay to question your self-worth, because that's the shadow that needs light. And if you shine a light on that, you are definitely going to heal your heart that has been closed up in a box with shadows and cobwebs for millennia. You can bring that down now. And once you bring that down, you are going to attract beautiful things into your life. For example, new partner, if you so wish, or new career, if you so wish. And my one of my final couple of questions to you is, how do you define love today?
How do I define love?
Yes.
Well, let me see. I would say love to me would be acceptance
Yes.
without any condition. Okay. And
Yes.
just seeing the beauty in the brokenness of someone. And whether it be even in yourself, of course, and choosing to stay regardless. If it's with someone else, choosing to stay within yourself, obviously you're not going anywhere, right?
Sure.
But love definitely isn't about fixing or controlling someone. um it's about a certain type of freedom, not the freedom we were talking about before that you value, but a certain type of freedom where you feel safe, and you're in a place where where there's growth and healing and joy can happen,
Oh, that's
right?
beautiful.
So yeah, so I guess at its core, love is simply this: I see you, I accept you, and I'm here.
Oh, there you go. How can people contact you? Where can they find you?
The easiest place to find me would be on my website,
Yes,
which is www.divorcedadshelp.com. And from
perfect.
there, my email address and everything's on there. Um, if I may, so there's something that's pretty exciting to me that I'm doing right now.
Yes,
Yeah, so what's going on now is um, sorry about that.
that's okay.
So amazing things happening in my life now. So as you know, as I said before, being in the investigation industry for the last 30 years, but now I've been pursuing my passions in the last year, and that is doing the divorced dads coaching. And I've recently started working at a family law firm called Schultz and Associates. They're out in New Jersey.
Awesome.
And what really like resonates and aligns with me is that they specialize in men's and fathers' rights. And
Wow.
that's of course a natural fit for what I'm doing and aligns perfectly with my mission. And
Yes.
the owner of the firm, I mean, her mission is to reunite 100 children with their estranged fathers every year for the next 10 years. So she wants 1,000 kids reunited with their estranged parents, either father or mother.
Wow.
That's like that really hits
Of
me.
course.
So,
Yes.
I'm really excited about this opportunity, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to the future for sure.
I love that. And I love the alignment
Yeah,
with uh, this new endeavor and opportunity, because you are embodying that heart led journey where you're saying, and you do it here, you did it here, and you took off your mask, and you're like, because it feels good to me. And that's what we want, right? Because it feels good. Because once you start aligning in that way and pursuing your passions, the universe is going to say, aha, and now I know what he's all about. And here you go. And here you go. And male and female, we need to embrace that. Take that off. as Matteo even demonstrated, touch base in here, and then you'll find that divine alignment, that soul-led purpose to your life. And it's out there. Just give yourself a chance and dust off the cobwebs and look at your shadows, do the work, find what works for you in order to dust off, and then you can step forward. And so, Matteo Bavaro, I am so grateful that you joined me here today on Light Speaks, and you're a part of the season 2, which is so exciting. And listeners, thanks for tuning in. And I'm Roshni Sharma Fleming. I'm based in Toronto at stillfirehealinginc.com. Take care, everyone. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you, Roshni. You're a beautiful soul. Bless you.